Hello everybody, and today I'd like to do something new. And what the new thing that we are doing today is we're gonna be testing the premium unit tier 6 Roman light infantry on the battlefield. We've got the Murmillo Gladiators, and we are in a team of 3. This is just a random game. I feel like this is quite a good game, in my opinion, just to show how good these units can be. I would say they're better, but hard to say in a lot of ways. Then again, I'm not much of a light infantry player, so who knows. Stat-wise, they are pretty good, and they're very much fun to play. So this time I'm going to be looking at how fun these units are to play, rather than whether they're overpowered or not. I mean, I'm sure metrics and everything already show whether they're overpowered or not. We've got this very nice pillar, just to move these units away from the flag. So we're capturing it. And now this guy thinks he can fool me by charging in. I countercharge and win the charge against Barb Cav. I go into a testudo, go try to surround, activate vengeance on just one of them, because I think I can win it with just one vengeance. Now the interesting thing is that when these guys go into this is a tier 6 unit, and one thing that I kind of found OP, like really OP, was that they get 99% shield block. If you got Armor Smith, they got over 100% shield block in testudo, which can be a bit of a problem at tier 6 especially. And considering they aren't even supposed to be wearing armor, that is kind of weird, especially for tier 6. But regardless, let's take a look. They're performing very well in the woods. I mean, look at the sheer amount of damage they did in comparison to damage they received. Now, just like the light infantry, they are a little weak to the missiles, but that is not the case with Germanicus, because you get almost 100% missile block. Light infantry with 100% missile block, ooh, that's gonna be fun. Alright, now we've got an enemy who is camping in this area. Now, what do you do when you've got a box like this to deal with? You could try to break it, or you could just ignore it. Just go around and go to their base. Here I'm signaling our javelin player to come over here and take care of these pikemen. Let's take a look. The pikes are down. I'm being shot at by the light artillery. I'm trying to take position behind this building against the light artillery. So we're approaching them. I do not want them to follow me back. My ally signals to me that he's getting surrounded, but fortunately these cavalry make a mistake and do not charge him. He is playing light infantry. That's Mistru, I believe. Our javelin player is in a bit of a trouble, so I send in reinforcements, but yeah, he's kind of a deep one in this case. Now, these guys are pretty fast. That's another thing, is that these guys are really fast. For this tier and all, yeah. So what do? We just say we're not going to deal with that. And instead, we just go for the base. Still fight over here. We got to take care of those cavalry because they might decap us, buying the opponent more time to decap and control the battlefield. Now, thanks to that box, we're also taking control of the rest of the battlefield by eliminating the rest of the forces, because by creating this camping box, they have isolated themselves from their allies, and as such, we can just divide and conquer their allies. Hence, that's what our team has done. And now let's take a look over here. Now I apologize because there's no voices in here. There was a lot of communication going in, so I get a lot of interruptions. Now our opponent notices what we're doing, and they're headed straight towards our base capping formation. So they're capping the base as well. We require a quick decap. So from what we look at the map, we do have a decapper. Now you see the speed in these guys is that they're able to outrun the pikes, and they're able to give a very nice chase to the slingers. They're fast enough that the slingers are not even able to shoot. Light artillery, on the other hand, is able to shoot, so I decide to hide behind a building. So fortunately we are not dealing with heavy artillery, but it's still a bit of a camp formation they've got going on. I believe they were in a party. So what we do is we send diversionary forces to just stop them from decapping, go around, try to do as much damage as we can, so our opponent didn't undeploy their artillery and suffered gravely for it. He loses his unit. And so thanks to that, now I'd like to point out, these guys are fast enough that they do not have to suffer a volley while they're kiting. So that is really good. Right now they're running in Testudo, so even if the guy does manage to get off a volley, he's not going to be able to do much, and he's getting kited exactly where we want him. See the direction that I'm kiting him, and he realized it. Now he knows I was doing it deliberately. Oh, and very nice micro from my opponent. He out-micros me there and manages to slip away really quick. That's an interesting thing. While this game does not require much micro in general, those brief moments where you do need it, yeah, you just need to pull that off. Although it's not even nearly as intensive as your average shooter. But now you see our opponent's pikes. They are inside. One of our guys engages him from the front. Bad idea. You try to go around. Prevent the slingers from firing. If you cannot kill them, prevent them from firing. You are now having a 2-to-1 exchange, so which is a pretty decent exchange. After all, it doesn't matter whether you have killed the unit or not, as long as you have just prevent them from doing their job. It's the exact same thing. Of course, killing is better because 1, it's permanent. 2, the units that you would be using as diversion cannot be used for something else, but when you can't, it's very, very valid. Now we surround and destroy those pikes. Next up, we're just gonna sit back and enjoy. So let's see. We are doing quite well. Mistru decides to go and take out a few cavalry. I'm just sitting here in Testudo, camping. And capping, of course. So I send one of my wounded units to give chase, to prevent them from firing at my allies, who do not have 100% missile block. The 100% missile block is quite important, because it allows you to just sit in the enemy base with your Testudo on, and preventing the decap. It forces your opponent to surround you completely with their skirmishers, which takes considerable amount of time and maneuvering, as well as opening them to counter maneuvers. Now let's look at that speed. Boom. A bit of quick micro, and now we have effectively went around the pikes, although it doesn't look like Pike was really interested in me, which is kind of disappointing. It looks like they are interested in our units in the base. They have realized that the slingers will not be able to shoot because they kept on getting chased. Now, one thing you can do as a skirmisher player in this case is split your units if you're getting chased by one unit, and as soon as one unit is free to shoot, you shoot them. Do damage, destroy that chasing unit, and you're gold. And now you see, in comparison, the light infantry is able to give chase and actually catch those units. So I would say the speed looks like close, but the light infantry is better. Perhaps it's because it's Arminius, I think. Regardless, let's take a look what the light infantry can do against pikemen with vengeance. It's quite well. Now, because my opponent is playing Kanane, I think? No, it's Leonidas. He can shield bash and drop his pikes once again, but there is a way to prevent that, which is through continuous engagement. You see, the way the shield bash works, it is not part of the unit, it's not part of the ability that you are able to drop pikes after shield bash. It is because you are disengaged, you're effectively disengaged after you do that strike due to knockback, giving you a brief period where you can strike. This can be manipulated. If you are striking your opponent from the side where they are not able to shield bash you because it attacks in a cone, the enemy pike will still be in melee, which comes in handy when you are trying to melee the pikes. However, I still do not recommend that. Do not try that at home. Neither do this. I mean, what's your point here? Is it suicide? That is from the looks of it. So I quite enjoyed playing them. I think they're a very fun unit. So if you've got a few bucks to spend just for fun, definitely go for it. And if you've got a lot of friends who like to play in Tier 6, definitely buy them. They're a lot of fun with Germanicus. I heard they're quite fun with Sula. But at this point, this game is basically won. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you do, just leave it a like, and from there I can see that whether I should make more of this content. Well, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.